Good day, everybody. Here we are on the 28th of April, 2022. It is a Thursday afternoon, and we are ready for this reveal. It's a 1963D original machine wrapped roll. Nice sealed ends on both sides. Just like that 62 roll we went through yesterday that turned out to have 62D Lincoln cents inside. That was a very unusual thing. Here we go. I've got the top undone. I'm working on the bottom now. I got two reveals that I'll be doing this afternoon prior to some engagements I have to go take care of. And then if I can get to the other two this evening, I will. Otherwise, I'll reschedule them and do them tomorrow. All right, there's that. And we are off. Hey, Tim. Here's Adam Connor. Adam Connor out for the first coin. It's got a little bit of toning on the reverse because the reverse is out. Let's see what's on the obverse side. Yeah. So I got nothing in the date and mint mark. Nothing on the I. Nothing in Liberty. Got a die scratch in the middle of the mint mark, though. That's kind of interesting. All right, we'll take a quick look at the reverse and see if we have anything on the reverse of this coin, which has turned just a little bit brown because it was exposed to the outside of the roll. Well, and there's Tim Morrell. There's Paul. How you guys doing? Hope everybody's having a good day today. Here's coin number 2, Orig now. Nothing going on there. Check if the eye shows me nothing. In God We Trust shows me nothing. And then Liberty. Oh. What do you know? We do have a double die. A little bit of doubling underneath the B right there. Underneath the B of Liberty. So that's the first double die we're finding in this roll. Let's get back over to the mint mark and take a look for markers in that area that we might be able to use. Well, there is a dropping die scratch next to the 9, next to the tip of the 9. Looks like a generally north and south die scratch pattern through the date area. So I'm going to get that put into the special place because we have a double die there. Let's take a look at the next coin in the roll. And I'm kind of leaning toward RPM on that. Kind of. I'll have to see if I can see more of these before I make a real determination one way or the other. But we have a die scratch running from the top of the 6 to the chin. That'll help us out in identifying any future examples of this particular die. Let's keep moving otherwise. Take a look around and see what we get. Nothing going on there. Let's take a look at the other side. There are double die reverses known for the 1963D Lincoln cent. However, they are rather minor and kind of difficult to come by. Alright, so this one's for Yo Man. It's a possible RPM. I'll have to keep watching. Mr. Sappington, this coin is for you. Appears to not be a double die or a repunchment mark in the date area. Nothing on the obverse. Let's check the reverse and see what we have on the reverse side. It's kind of a dull roll, but it is original, which will give us at least some chance of finding goodies. Nothing on that coin. Let's go on to number 5. Number 5 for Farm Dog. And see, there's another one of those that looks like it's not the same die, though. This is a different die. This one's got a die scratch inside the 9. That one, I do believe, appears to have a small split upper serif, but it wouldn't be enough. So here's a little bit of doubling on the nose that is just machine doubling. There we go. Our doubled die. That's our doubled die right there. Doubling on the bottom of the B of Liberty. So we need to refine our thought. Unless maybe that's just a different double die, because I see 2 die scratches. Actually, 1 die scratch looks like a big long curve that goes from the center of the 9 to the center of the 6. That definitely was not on the other coin that we looked at that appeared to be from the same die. It's definitely a double die there, though. That doubling on the bottom of the B of Liberty. Let me straighten it out so it's easier to see it, and then I'll zoom in. All this right down here, that's doubling on the bottom of the B. It's only visible right there on the very bottom of the B, though. So I'll zoom it back out, get everything situated again. And flip this one over and see what's on the other side. So far, nothing at all, but Farm Dog gets himself what could be a different double die with doubling on the bottom of the B. And keep watching that. See what we keep seeing there. If we keep seeing it. This appears to be... Is this another one? It is. Another one with the doubling on the bottom of the B. These coins are kind of browning down just a little bit, but they are pretty nice coins. It just doesn't look like that when you look at them at such large magnification. Alright, that one's for Paul. I'll get that one put in the same stack. Congrats, Paul. Here's one for Mark. Okay, this is the first die we looked at, and it should not have, it does not have the doubling on the bottom of the B. So we're revisiting our first die pair of the roll. I have 2 reveals I'm going to try to get done this afternoon prior to going to a couple of engagements I have to run away from the house for. Then I will come back later this evening after dinner and get a couple of more reveals done. That'll put us completely on schedule. Yeah, this one looks like a slightly earlier dice date than the others, which means it probably will not be the doubling under the B, and it is not. Let's check the other side real quick. See what we come up with here. Nothing on that one. I was unable to finish the reveals, these two reveals that I'm doing now. I was unable to finish those yesterday. Got home too late and didn't have enough time to get prepped for them. This is that first die again. The first die of the roll again. So put this one in a holder and move on. That's coin number 9. Now number 10. Back to Richard. Well, let's see what we have for Richard. This one, this little coin of mine, is a double die. So I'm going to get it, put in the stack with the others. And there's one for Richard. On to coin number 11 now. Crispy. Crispy. Let's see here. That's another one of our RPMs. That one appears to be an RPM. Does not have the doubling under the B. But none of these coins are bright. They're all kind of look like this roll's been stored in a moist basement for a while. Now number 12. Ted. Let's see. Just cut to the chase, right? Okay, not that. Okay, this is the first die again. You've got that die gouge on the inside of the D mint mark, and you've got that small die scratch under the 6 of the date. Let's see what else we have here. Got nothing on the reverse on this one. Number 13 now. There is another one of the RPMs. That one's pretty straightforward right there, I think. No doubling under the B. Okay. Put that one in the RPM pile. Move on to the next. We have a coin for Mark now. And Mark's coin is a double die. I think this will go back to the first double dies we saw. Having a hard time keeping markers straight on this stuff because they just they appear to change from one coin to the next, which tells me there's some chance this could be a like a hub problem with the B. But we're going to keep watching. Here's Mr. Worley again. First die. Die gouge inside the D. Not doubled on the B of Liberty. Oh, Taco John. Now number 16. Dennis Paulsen. Let's see what we get for Dennis. Nope, first die again. First die again. So we got nothing on this one. Wish we got some scratchy, little slightly scratchy looking coins here. Here's number 17 for Carl. And as soon as I can find the coin here, there we go. I think this could buy, which looks like it could be an RPM. Find the coin again here. No. Probably not an RPM. That looks like an indentation over there to the... It could be an RPM, but it looks like more of an indentation next to the D-mint mark there. Let's see what we have over here. Nothing doubled over there. I'll have to check the reverse on this one. We haven't seen this obverse yet. Nothing. All right, possible RPM for Carl. Here's number 18, Tim Morrell. Let's see what Timothy gets. Well, it looks like that's one of our little RPMs, it appears. Yeah, I'm thinking so. So there's that. Penny Hoarder. Penny Hoarder up next. And this should be one of the double dies here. It is. Okay. So I'm starting to learn the markers on these. Number 20, Mr. Birchman. Not doubled. Don't see anything over here. And looking around the coin, I'm seeing nothing. Let me flip it over to be sure it's not a double die reverse, and we could be missing something here. We don't want to miss anything. Not a double die, not an RPM. Number 21. 21 goes to Eric. And Eric will pick up. Looks normal to me. Let's take a look at the other side. Nothing to speak for. So, it's number 21, now 22. Yo, man. Another one of the possible RPMs. We'll put that one in the pile with the possible RPMs. Go on to 23, Mr. Tim Morrell. Not one of the double dies. Looks like a normal coin. Okay, we got a normal one here. Hello, number 1 Thug Stecton. Adam Connor. Adam Connor comes up again. I think he got the first coin in the roll. Nothing there, and I think I've seen this obverse before, but it's been a little while. I want to see what's on the reverse of this. Nothing important here. Let's move on to coin number 25. Halfway through the roll now, we have Mark Thomas up next. And let me see what I find here. This is another of the same die I just uncovered in the previous coin. That's it for that one. Now, number 26. Mr. Paulsen. Dennis. Good thing that wasn't an RPM. You end up covering it up. That is one of the double dies, though. So Dennis gets an example of the double die here. Now, number 27. Crispy. I'm thinking there could be more than one double die, but I'm not splitting them apart. I'm just putting them in a pile of double dies and then a pile of RPMs. I don't believe this one is anything. No. Now, number 28. Carl? You might be asking, why is the B doubled and nothing else? Why is it just the B? Well, the B is at a place on the position of the die where at one point that was the edge of the working die, because they start out in a cone shaped. The middle of the design in here gets transferred first, and then it works its way outward as you get from one hubbing to the next to the next. Well, what happened here is a prior hubbing had been slightly off kilter and produced this. And then the next tubbing was snapped back into place, so you've basically got out of shape, out of shape, out of shape, both in shape, in shape. And then so here where you've got both, you've got the outer shape, the out of shape, and the in shape. So it's a matter of being at the edge of the wheel when the wheel was turned just a little bit, and then everything remaining on the outer edge of the wheel after that, because it's smashed outward. Everything else on the edge of the wheel after that will look normal. It's another one of the double dies. The reason I'm saying there's likely more than one different die here is because not only do we have different markers, but the die doubling itself is taking on a slightly different characteristic. This one's not going to be doubled. It's one of the first die that we pulled out of the roll. See, there's no doubling under there at all. Very minor, however, still collectible. We're still talking about coins that are worth $5 to $8 a piece. Maybe a little bit more. This one for penny hoarder. If these were bright red and in earlier die state, they would be worth quite a bit more as these little double dies they are. See, this one you can actually see on the bottom of the B. You can see right here in the middle of the B, and you can also see it up here at the top of the B. So that one for penny hoarder. Now, number 32. Back to Paul. Come on, Paul. Dig up an RPM with us. This is not going to be an RPM, and it's also not the double die. Bummer. Now, number 33. Mr. Worley. And nothing there either. Let's check the reverse on this one just to be consistent and check one once in a while. Now, some people are going to ask, and they're going to lay a question out there as to the difference between hub doubling and die doubling. Well, there really isn't a difference. They are basically the same thing. Except die doubling is not necessarily a properly used term. Die doubling is what some people call it, but most people call it hub doubling because the doubling occurred at the time the die was hubbed. So it's the hub that caused the doubling. So there really is no die doubling unless you're talking about machine doubling, which has no value and doesn't need another term anyway. Hub doubling is the process by which a hub doubles a design into a die by being slightly out of alignment or way out of alignment, either one, but that it's out of alignment. %75 or more. 61D roll. Hey, Eric. Yeah, we're finding there is what appears to be a minor south RPM. There also is what appears to be hub doubling on the bottom of the B of Liberty on a couple of different dies, I do believe. This isn't going to be normal. It's that doubling on the B like you find on 58D DDO number 1. It's not very strong, but it's there. See what we got next here. Spot on the mint mark. It is one of the double dies. So you can see right here you've got this little bit of a bar below the B that is recurring on a number of these coins. I think we have two different dies that we're working with. I don't believe they're both from the same die. Here's kind of our proof why. Let's get a good strong marker that we know will be on the other one that we can use for sure. Okay, there's a heavy, thick, old die scratch coming northeast out of the crook between the lip and the chin, and then there's east and west die scratches in front of the mouth and nose. So we can use that as our marker point for this particular double die. Here's one for Carl. See, what do we end up with for Mr. Carl? This is going to be one of the first die that came out of the roll. I know that because there is a diagonal die gouge inside the D, and there's this long die scratch right under the 6. So it is not going to be one of the double dies or an RPM. And now for number 39 to Deanne. So it appears it could be an RPM. I don't really see it though. Cardstock's trying to peel up on me again. I tell you what, when you find something that works, stick with it. I've been doing the same thing since 2005, and it's only been the last 2 weeks I've started having problems. It's because my instrument that I'm using is wearing itself thin. Not wanting to come back. Another one of our double dies right there. See the doubling underneath the B of Liberty. Oh, you got DDO number 1 in a 63D roll I sold to you? I've been looking for those for quite a while now. I haven't found any, so just tends to be one of those ones that you'll find it sometimes, you won't other times. Okay, here's another normal 1963D Lincoln for Mr. Richard. Now coin number 42. This one's for Eric. I'm looking to begin the second reveal as soon as I finish this one. It's going to be a back-to-back effort. The next roll, I believe is the 1942D. I think the more that I think about this, I've got some more things I have to prepare tonight, which means I probably won't have time to do the other reveals I was talking about earlier today. I'll have to get those done tomorrow. Alright, this one's one of our possible minor RPMs to the south. Now number 44. This is one of our double dies right there. Just barely see it underneath the B of Liberty. Here's number 45. 45 goes to Andy Snowville. And this will be our first die for the roll, which means that we do not have a double die on here. Number 46 now, Deanne. Bam, double die. D's a little chewed up, the doubling underneath is not. Good afternoon, pizza guy. Here's number 47 now. Number 47 to Mike Birchman. Yeah, nothing going on there. 3 coins remaining. First of 3 coins goes to Malcolm, number 48. I'm consistently seeing what appears to be on some of these ones with the doubling on the B, also what appears to be maybe doubling above the center cross on the 3. So you could have a case of a double die with doubling on the B and on the 3. I have noticed a few of these. And on to coin number 49 for Paul Fitzgerald. First die again. This one's not going to be anything for a die variety. And last but certainly not least, Deanne. Coin number 50. Let's see what's on coin number 50. Nice little bit of toning on this end of the roll, but that's all we get out of this roll ender. Just a little bit of toning. And that will be all for now. I'll be back right at about 3 o'clock or about 8 minutes from now to start the next adventure. I'll see you guys then.